Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about avoidance, and does avoidance make our relationship dysfunctional? Now, the short answer is yes, it does. It can also destroy a relationship. The avoidance defense mechanism is a simple way for a person, or conscious or unconscious effort, to avoid facing uncomfortable situation and to protect themselves from difficulties. It may also involve finding ways not to discuss or even think about the topics. Now, why is this important in relationships? Because in the end of the day, if we are together with someone, we put that trust in that person to tell us everything and be able to talk and communicate. But if someone is avoiding a subject, a problem, or an issue that hasn't been resolved, it's going to put strain on a relationship, no matter what or how you want to think about it. If you've got past trauma and you're avoiding doing the work because it's affecting your relationship, then the relationship is going to collapse. If you're avoiding the uncomfortable topic with your partner because you're scared that they're going to get upset, but you're putting strain on that relationship. In the end of the day, avoidance is a defense mechanism, but it's not a healthy one. If you want your relationship to last, you need to have sometimes uncomfortable conversations. I'm not talking about arguing. I'm not talking about bickering. I'm talking about two mature adults sitting down and having a conversation. The problem is, we haven't learnt. School doesn't teach us. Society doesn't teach you how to deal with these defense mechanisms. So it is going to be challenging. It is going to feel uncomfortable. But I guarantee you, once you start to approach the avoidance behavior, things will change in the relationship, as long as you both come together. If you've got trauma and you're sitting on that trauma that happened 20 years ago and you know it's affecting your relationship, you need to do something about it. There's no excuses anymore. And this is the problem that we're faced. I have seen it in firsthand, how a trauma, unresolved, tore the relationship apart because they didn't want to face it. They wanted to avoid it. If you're being with somebody and you love that person, you owe it to that person to fix the traumas. You owe it to that person to relearn what you need to learn. If we keep thinking the same way, we'll keep getting the same results. Doesn't matter if it's this relationship, next relationship, or the following one. If you keep using avoidance as your defense mechanism in a relationship, it's going to affect you no matter where you go. Learn to be comfortable in just speaking. There's no need to be arguing. There's no need to be in a place of disagreeing. It's about understanding human beings. Understanding that everyone has grown up differently. Everyone has developed a different strategy, different way of learning. But that's why we need to become mature adults. Because that's one thing a lot of people haven't figured out yet, is how to be a mature adult. And why you're still avoiding subjects, why you're still avoiding the uncomfortables, why you're still avoiding fixing the things that need to be fixing, those things are going to stay there till it's fixed. You can't just wish it away. You can't just go click your finger and go magic wand, disappear. Unless you're willing to do the work, it's the only way you're going to deal with these problems. The great thing is about relationships is anything can be learned. And I've say this on every video that I say. Nothing cannot be learned. Anything can be learned. Even if you don't know how, it could still be learned. You've just got to make a choice. Do you want to stay in a relationship that's got avoidance behavior? Or do you want to fix that relationship and fix the avoidance behavior? It might take a month. It might take 2 months. But it doesn't matter how long it takes. It's the fact that moving yourself in that area. And this is why it's important that why we continue to have avoidance in relationship, the relationships will become dysfunctional. Eventually will be destroyed. Unless people like living that way. But no one likes living that way. They just haven't figured out a way to live differently. They haven't found a way to live in a way of looking at relationships as two souls coming together. And that's where the strength of relationships come from. I spent a lot of times watching and observing relationships. I've seen what went wrong in my relationship. I've seen what goes wrong in other people's relationships. Because I've spent the time to learn it. I spent the time to understand it. I spent the time to go, we have to learn how to be in it. I avoided things in my relationship as well. And then when I realized that I was avoiding it, for instance, I always had the excuse that I wasn't romantic. So I avoided even that subject. But then I realized that I just had to learn it. And it wasn't that scary. It just meant that I had to change my way of thinking. So next time you think about avoidance and what you're doing in a relationship, and think, am I avoiding this subject? Am I avoiding this issue? Ask yourself, do you want to keep thinking the same way and living the same way, or do you want to do something about it? Because that's when the changes come. That's when you can build your relationship back up. But it does take an understanding. It does take relearning. Thank you for everyone that has come on to this live today. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone could get benefit from this. Please share, comment and like, and pass it on to people that you know could really benefit from this. And I'll see you on my next live tomorrow. Thank you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Namaste. Bye.